to Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome into Just. You can hear that drink being poured. An Average Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Hayes, with Matt Baker. we have joined a free pirate league, and he's looking for pirate names.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure something out. I got to come up with something good.
I was pillaged these nuts. So, I also learned, just while he's looking at names, I learned that parlay isn't just with gambling; it has to do with pirates as well. Who knew?
Yeah.
Apparently Baker knew. I didn't. But anyway.
I thought I knew, and then I went and double-checked. Because sometimes I know.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we say things that we weren't 100% right about.
Yep. And
I've never done that.
And then I had to check before, I'm like, yes, definitely. But
I have never listened back to this podcast and realized I said something completely wrong and wanted to run my truck into a tree. Never done anything like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Never happened.
But if you want to go check out any of those previous episodes where I'd say dumb shit, you can go look us up at www.afgffpod.com. There's buttons there to click, take you to Apple, Spotify, or you can just go to those places and look for us. Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast. You can find us on Facebook, and you can find us on the X, YouTube. Yep, at AVGFFPOD, or just search us on Google. Just an Average Fantasy Football Podcast. We're generally within the top 3 to 5 results of that. And go to the places where we are. Do the things that follow us and make us happy when we see the plays when we click on it.
Like us.
Please like us and follow us. Subscribe to us.
Do all that.
Click the bell, as they say, if you're in YouTube. So
yes. Flick the bean. Is that what we said it should be called?
No.
On Podbean?
Podbean, yeah.
It should be called Flick the Bean.
Yes. So we recently joined a new distributor called Podbean. Shout out, free advertising. But and you can go on to Podbean. Our Podbeam, there's a button I think to take you to our Podbeam site. You can listen directly from there as well. But Baker said that the subscribe button should be flick the bean.
It should be flick. It's not subscribe, it's just flick.
Yes.
So you're flicking their Podbean. I think if they listen to podcasts before they should steal that and just market it the best they can.
No, that's trademarked. I just trademarked that shit while we're sitting here.
Well, they should call us and get permission. Because it won't take much. And I'll give it to them. We'll give it to them.
We'll flick the bean.
Yeah, we'll flick the bean. We'll have it out there for them.
Oh, God. Yep. We're off the rails.
It's a good rail to be off, though.
All right. Well, we're within 2 weeks. Preseason is over. Knock on wood, we made it through without any major. I mean, we did lose J.J. McCarthy for the season. But as of right now, I can't really think off the top of my head. I mean, we got Hollywood's going to be out for a few
Rondell
weeks.
Moore?
That's Rondell Moore. We did lose some promising.
There's a couple There's a couple that here and there,
But thus far, I mean, it's bound to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But thus far, we came out relatively, except for the guys who are hurt, they would have a different opinion about that.
Exactly. But compared to some years past, it was kind of
absolutely.
It was a quiet. We'll just call it quiet preseason.
Yeah. And the cuts are happening right now as we speak. There are cuts happening, I think, up until 4:00 tomorrow when they have to be at their 53-man roster. So you're about to see people get sliced. You're going to see some cap casualties. We'll talk about a few that are likely. And then the other thing you have to worry about is after cuts are made, there's the other side of the coin where if players get cut that teams deem to be better than players they currently have on their roster. And so if they keep a player and then somebody gets cut that they like more, then they'll sign that guy and cut this guy.
Yeah.
So there's still going to be, after cuts, there's the next wave of signing and cuts again. And so we'll see how that all goes. I got a couple dynasty teams where my rosters aren't right yet because I have people on the IR that shouldn't be there, and I've been holding out and waiting to see if people get cut that I can kick off my dynasty, or if there was an injury, I can move them to the IR and move another guy out. So You know, I'm sure some other people are in those similar situations. And then this is the redraft season. We're balls deep in that right now.
Oh yeah,
and everybody's just kind of sitting there waiting. You know, these deep divers. I mean, there's been a few times where I'm like, man, I got to get this guy. He's going to be amazing. And then I snatch him up in my redraft league at the last pick or two, and then he gets cut.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, well, that was I missed that one.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is. We've been drafting. God, I feel like we've been drafting every day
for the last week and a half. Yeah.
It's crazy
between rookie drafts and you know.
I was in I've got in a couple auction drafts, which I really like the auction platform. I mean, it's not something I would want to bring to our home league because we have so many casual players in it.
Yeah.
An auction league really needs to be hardcore type players for the most part. But it would be awesome to do a live auction where you bring in an auctioneer and you actually bid live with you. You give everybody fake money to buy their players with. So maybe we'll look into that down the road. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's been a crazy time. We're actually in the middle of a draft currently, but it's a slow draft. So.
Yeah, and it's a pirate. It's a little different too.
Yeah,
you still draft to win, but
yeah, pirate leagues essentially it's like a vampire league, but everybody can take everybody's player. So I think head to head, when you play a head to head, the winner gets a W, and they get to steal one of your starters. Mm-hmm. And so
you got to swap straight position though, right? Or do you just take?
I think it's starter for starter in this league. I'm not sure.
I'd have to go look into.
Yeah, I have to go redo the rules. It's a free league. But either way,
it's just fun. It's something else
a little
to
different
keep you,
twist.
It keeps you on your toes and keeps you. Here's what I like about a lot of free leagues, and a lot of people might not think of it the same way, but I do. Because it helps open your eyes to players you might not normally have on your team. Like right now, in this particular league, since I have nothing writing on it per se, bragging rights, then I'll draft a lot of people that I'm not as comfortable drafting when I know. And at least then you can kind of keep an eye on what's going on around the league instead of only focusing on your same players you have consistently amongst your teams.
I might actually go for Marvin Harrison in this league.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
And just to get him, try to get that Harrison Kyler Murray stack and see how that works out for me, because if I'm going to get Harrison, I'm definitely looking to get Kyler and stuff like that. So
I just think the free leagues they make it a little easier to kind of to play around with people that you typically wouldn't draft. You might reach a little bit more or play a little more with your heart, even like grabbing people that you want to do good more so than expect to do good.
I mean, we know the downside to free leagues is that you get in with a bunch of people who are there for like the first couple of weeks, and then
it all falls
half the league just disappears because they don't care about it. But you're 100% right. It gives you to throw it out as a pun. It gives you more freedom.
Yeah,
because you're not so concerned about. I put $20 in this. I don't want to just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah, I do that with my $20 leagues too. I just grab. It's the $50 and $100 leagues that kind of make you nervous about just I'm just going to grab this. Like
I got to do good in the cheap leagues to pay for the expensive ones because I don't ever do good in them. So.
I try to win the expensive ones or finish in the expensive ones pretty top, and then that way I can play around with the cheap leagues just to kind of. I just like the diversity of it. That way you kind of know what all players are doing. Because it helps you when you're strategizing against your teams in certain leagues to know what their players could potentially do as well, and what you can do to kind of counteract that a little bit. I mean,
and you get to try out different things in how like I just talked about stacking Kyler with Marvin Harrison. I'm not going to do that in any of my money leagues.
Yeah.
Now we're talking redraft strictly when we're having this conversation because I do have Marvin Harrison in a few dynasties. But when I'm talking about redrafts, I'm generally not going after him that early, so I'm not looking to stack him with Kyler, and I'm not doing anything that crazy. I'm trying to stack Kyler with like McBride, or somebody like that or
James Conner even,
or somebody like James Conner. And so now I'm looking at different plays. I'm looking at different players, like you said. Malik Neighbor's been lighting it up in the preseason. Maybe I go after him. Yeah. Maybe I have very little Dalton Kincaid. Let me go try to get him and throw him out there with Josh Allen. Or, maybe I get Kyle Pitts and stack him with Cousins and see what happens, and just kind of throw it out with some of these players that I'm not generally going after, some of these philosophies that I don't generally. Maybe I go 0 RB or a hero RB with this draft and just get all the wide receivers I can get, whereas actually this year in a lot of my redrafts, I've been looking at, since everybody else is going wide receiver, I've been getting running backs galore.
Yeah, see, I've been loading wide receivers mostly on most of my drafts. I've been, if the value's there for running back, I think there's a lot of backup backs that are going to see more time than
Right.
we expect them to see this year. And
Two-
you can kind of float on it and get them later.
2 drafts, our home league and another our other league, the Premier and Regulator League.
Yeah.
I did the same 2 picks in the first 2 rounds. I got Bijan and then got Kyron on the second round while everybody else is grabbing them. And I was like, man, I mean, I hope Kyron doesn't lose his job to Corum, and I hope Corum don't significantly impact him. But if I can get 80% of what Kyron was last year when he was on the field, stacked with Bijan, who we hope is going to make a run at McCaffrey-esque type numbers.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid, you know, and so I feel pretty good about that. But like you know, but maybe in these free leagues, maybe I'll say screw it. I'll go get. I don't have Jamar Chase hardly anywhere. I'll go after Jamar, stack him with I don't know, some other some other second round wide receiver I can't think of off the top of my head. You know.
Yeah. No, I get it. You get to expand and kind of play areas you typically wouldn't be comfortable enough playing.
Yeah.
You know, I reach a little more sometimes.
And we don't know anybody but each other in this league. Like I know zero. This link for this league came from I got in a elimination pool, $5, 250 players. Everybody threw in $5, and every week you pick a team, and if you win, you progress, but you can't ever pick that team again. And then at the end, you get all the fucking money.
Yeah.
And so I was in that. I know nobody. There's 250 people in there, and some guy just threw a link out there that said free league, free pirate, whatever league. Whoever wants in and drop the link. And I was like, you know what? I've never played in a Pirates League. And I clicked it, and then I invited you. So I literally know 0 people but you in this whole league. It's a 12-man league. So,
sweet.
So that's the other. That also gives you freedom, because if I go in there and just have a total crap draft and, like you said, blow balls, I don't care. I don't know these guys.
Exactly.
And so anyway, but so from there we're going to hit some news. Let's see.
Surprise, mother.
We're like a couple DJs.
Man, we got it going.
We got to start trying to get some gigs.
I'm telling you. I am telling you.
Well, the biggest news today is that Malik Willis got.
That is the biggest news.
Yeah,
that is the biggest news.
CeeDee Lamb has got paid. So I'm waiting for the sounder over there. He got that 4-year, $136 million, $100 million guaranteed, and he got a $38 million signing bonus, which means that's the highest of any wide receiver's ever got. So
yeah, he's got stacks now.
Yeah, he got he has the second highest overall contract behind Jefferson.
Now he's got to do something with they got to do something now with Dak, right?
Well, Dak's due, but Dak's not holding out. CD was holding out.
CD was holding out.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And Micah Parsons is also due, and so
Dak's probably smart not to hold out. I think they might go, okay, we'll just get somebody else, or but not Dak's.
I mean, they thought about doing that the year, his last contract, and then he blew his whole leg out, and then when he came back, they're like, "Here's all of our money," because we saw how bad it is when you leave. Yeah. So, I think
his stats last year are super comparable.
Listen, everybody, look, first of all, it's the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are always going to get way more attention than they ever deserve, even from people like us who don't like the Cowboys.
Exactly.
And the other side is that when you're the quarterback of the Cowboys, you're either praised because you're winning Super Bowls, or you're shat on because you're not.
Yeah.
And you can win every regular season game, but if you aren't getting the Super Bowls, then you're thought of as hot molten garbage. As a Panther fan, I would do felonies to have Dak Prescott at quarterback.
Yeah.
I would commit felonies. And
y'all would do good with CeeDee Lamb at quarterback.
Yeah, I will take CeeDee Lamb to play quarterback, please. But either way, Dak Prescott is not the problem with the the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was-
he is not the reason they don't make the Super Bowl.
Primarily the fan base.
And the ownership. It's 100%. That's 100% the fans,
Yeah.
and then it's 99.9% the fans, and then 0.1% the ownership.
Exactly. That's where it's all resolved to, is right in that area.
Since Jerry Jones has made himself the general manager, they haven't, when he got rid of Jimmy Johnson, what's his face? Barry Switzer came in and won in his second year back with Jimmy's players.
Yeah.
But you're going to be mired in that really good regular season team. Can't really do much in the playoffs mentality, because the other side is coaching. Like McCarthy's fine, but he's not a great. You look at Jimmy Johnson and the way when he walks in the room, he's like I don't know. He has it. He has that mind. You think about the trade he made when he got there, and sometimes you got to have Belichick. Well, not Belichick. Oh my God, the big tuna. Parcells. Bill Parcells was there for a minute, but he couldn't. He was butting heads with, Jerry Jones as well. So. I don't know. They could stumble into a Super Bowl. They have the talent to do it. Maybe not a running back. That's where their issues are now. And you look at what they did in the offseason, absolutely nothing. And what they did in the draft, absolutely nothing to really address the situation.
They brought Zeke back.
Trey Benson was there when they picked. They could have got him. They could have got Blake Corum. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They went out and brought Zeke back, and then they've got Rico Dowdle, and it's like, okay, well, and Royce Freeman,
Deuce Vaughn.
Oh, and Deuce Vaughn, yeah.
Which, he's so tiny. I think he's even smaller than. But his dad's like
I take
the
Deuce
defensive
is
coach.
bigger than Deuce.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think his dad's like defensive coach or something, or running backs coach or something.
It was
like
a great story.
Something,
it was a great story,
great,
and it was like a 5th or 6th round pick.
It wasn't nothing.
You might actually see some of him this year with this new kick return stuff, because Deuce would be great in that aspect.
He definitely would. Yeah, exactly.
But it just. And then you look at what the Cowboys have been doing with this contract situations. They know they've got this going, and then Jerry comes out in the media and he says stuff like, "Well, I'm just waiting for the market to do what it does." And it's like five wide receivers got contracts before CD did. So every contract that gets signed just pushes the market higher.
Exactly.
So you're talking about the market. You're the one watching the market grow and not do anything.
If he just signed him the end of the year last year, he probably could have saved him a few $1 million.
Yeah, you look at Trevor Lawrence just got paid as the until Jordan Love got his contract. Trevor Lawrence was the highest paid, and now Jordan Love's the highest paid. So that means when you give, because you're going to give him a contract, you're going to give Dak a contract. When you give Dak that contract, guess what? Whoever gets signs contracts between now and then.
He's going to push it.
He's going to be the
higher.
highest paid, because that's just the way it is.
Yep.
And then Micah Parsons is probably the most dominant pass rusher. If he's not the most dominant, he's the top 3 or 4 of the most dominant pass rushers in the league right now.
Yeah.
He is going to command a lot of money. He's going to want to be the highest paid pass rusher in the NFL.
And as he should. That guy's out there damaging everything he touches,
right?
And that's a position that you get longevity out of sometimes. You get a good 10 years out of a D lineman or pass rusher and all that stuff. So you're gonna pay him, but he's doing something magical. It's like Myles Garrett when he got his contract. Everybody's like, "Oh wow, that's too much for." But look what he does. Yep. When you know talent, when you want to hold that, you want to lock that down. The
second most important position in the NFL. The first most important, obviously, is the quarterback. The second most important is the guy who stops the quarterback.
Yeah, stops the other quarterback.
Yeah,
exactly.
Stops the other team's quarterback. And so you've got to, if you can disrupt the quarterback of the other team, then you open up opportunity for every other defensive player out there, for your corners and safeties and middle line and other linebackers to make plays on the ball. Because if Jared Goff is a prime example of that. We've talked 100 billion times about. If Jared Goff has a clean pocket, he'll go out there and he will absolutely surgically destroy the other team.
Yeah.
If you get in his face and you pressure him, he will throw the ball to the other team.
He legit goes from a top 5 to a bottom 5 within a few seconds.
And there are some quarterbacks who can, perform, adequately
on
under
both
pressure.
Sides. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes,
the greatest of the greats.
Patrick
exactly.
Mahomes, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're not putting him on the ground, you're not stopping him. That's
right.
That's why I look at him as one of the most elite quarterbacks ever.
Maybe the greatest ever. But even Josh Allen, you look at his interception rates. I would venture to say, and I don't know this to be true because this all just came up now, but but I would venture to say that a lot of the interceptions that Josh Allen's thrown is with a defender chasing him, or somebody in his face up the middle.
I would definitely, and I'm as an Allen fan, yes, that's 100%. It's the pressure not that he allows to get, but it gets to him,
right?
And then he rushes the ball.
Yes,
he tries to put it somewhere that he has no business trying to put it.
And so Cowboys have one of the top elite wide receivers in the league. They have one of the top. I would put Dak on the cusp of elite. I don't know if he's earned elite status, but if he's not elite, he's the first guy who's not elite on the list.
He's just outside of the top 5,
right,
or in the top 5, depending on the game.
And you have an elite pass rusher in Micah Parsons, and these guys are all needing contracts at the same time, and you're like, we're just gonna wait for the market to get just right.
I'm gonna wait till I have to pay all my money to just these 3 guys, and then I don't have anybody else in the field.
I'm gonna wait till I have to give them all the highest possible, money.
Then I can't pay my O lineman, and Dak's running around breaking his legs everywhere, and CD's wide open all by himself out there because Dak can't throw the ball to him.
Well, then they can just put CD in a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. We said he'll be amazing. They'll become the Dallas Panthers. I was going to say the Dallas Carolina Panthers, but that would be kind of weird, right?
Don't you ever say that.
Yeah, my bad. I felt bad when I said it too. I did.
Malik Willis, we mentioned that a second ago, has been traded to Green Bay for a 7th round pick. And
oh my God, who the hell cares?
I was waiting for
it. I wish I was. You said Malik Willis, and I was too busy in my head going, "Oh my God, who the hell cares?" to push a button. So,
but yeah, so he's traded. So that story's over with. He would be better suited, probably, trying to learn a new position.
Where was he going? Where did he go?
He went to Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yeah, so he'll be a tight end in 2 years.
Let's see. Puka's back at practice today. Jaylen Warren is hopeful for week 1. Laporta back at practice today.
That's good news.
And Gibbs was back at practice.
That's good news. But you said he was going to be, so.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle was wearing a no contact jersey for undisclosed reasons. They never said why. So that's something to monitor at practice. Let's see. Jonathan Brooks, they still have not made a decision whether they're going to put him on the PUP. And the reason being is if they put him on the PUP, he is down for 6 weeks. There's nothing you can do. And so they're trying to determine
4.
The 4 so IR's 4.
IR's 4, PUP 6.
Right.
Okay.
So they're trying to make a determination now whether they put him on the IR or on the PUP because they're trying to figure out if he's going to be out 4 or 6 weeks. So, but I do expect him to miss a minimum of 2 weeks, probably more.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Brisket says his shoulder injury is not that serious, so they have not made a determination as to the starter yet. Drake May does have a shot to start the season. But the coaching says we have seen horror stories of quarterbacks who get their confidence shattered by starting too soon and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, that's all just garbage. You have to look, you aren't playing for anything. If Drake May can't go out there and learn to play this game, then why did you draft him 3rd overall?
Exactly.
But that's where they're at. And so they want to make sure that Brisket is a sacrificial lamb, if he's able, I guess.
Well, I mean, why don't they put out what's his lips? Joe Milton.
Because
let him get shattered, and then that'll be a boost for Drake May, right? I mean,
I guess.
I mean, he did okay in the preseason games. I mean,
I don't know. I went back and looked at some of his college tape. He wasn't very good in college.
He wasn't very good. It's kind of, I don't know. He kind of reminds me of he definitely tries to use his speed a lot more than he should.
Yeah. Well, you have to understand, too, he's probably playing against 3rd-string guys, too. So everybody's like, oh, my God, Joe Milton's next great thing. It's like, yeah, he was playing against, a guy who's a half a step above, my dad.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, not my dad, but, like a younger guy's dad.
Somebody else's dad.
Like a younger dad.
A non-football playing dad.
But who's not, 40. Let's see. Juju likely to sign with Kansas City. We've read reports that said he is signing, and when we've read reports that said that he's looking at signing. So we are not going to determine that yet. We're just going to say likely to sign.
It didn't work out well when he went there last time.
I don't like it.
Really gonna make
I don't like it. I want Xavier Worthy to do good. I want Rice to smoke. The only thing that concerns me is this mean that they know something about what's about to happen with Rice.
Well, isn't Somebody's dealing with an injury there, isn't there?
Hollywood.
Hollywood's
Hollywood's supposed to be missing a few weeks.
So
too.
maybe
it's for that.
Maybe it's kind of that. But I mean, they're two completely different players, though. So I don't know if that would really be. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of concerning just because it's Juju. We've all heard his name. So
and he has a rapport with Mahomes. So if he's out there, he's going to get targets, and they're going to be dumb.
Yeah, it's just. But they played him out of the slot. What last 2 years with.
I mean, he's not going to be
so.
fantasy viable. He's just going to take away from somebody else. Fantasy viable. KJ Osborne's been running with the starters.
Ooh,
so that's something to monitor. Yeah. I don't know what that really means for that offense right now, but it may mean something. And Tyquan Thornton looks to be a sneaky start, and he's been treated as like their number 3 receiver right now. So maybe the second year unlock for him is something that will be something. I don't know.
We all kind of get our expectations built up on some of these receivers that should make an impact their first year, and then we go. The end of their first year, we're like, they're trash.
Yeah.
But then, maybe there's a time for someone to show that offense is kind of garbage anyway. So
and it was hot molten garbage last year. The problem with that is we talked about this before, is the lens that we look at things. We look at things through a fantasy lens, and then when you look at the metrics of what they've come in and determined through statistics, is if a first year wide receiver doesn't have any sort of breakout in his first year, only like I don't know what the number is, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Something like only 7% of them ever become fantasy viable. And that's and they mean like players that are going to score 14 or 15, average 14 or 15 points or even 12 points a game. And so when this becomes a predominant thought process in the league, then it's easier for the fantasy community to start throwing away guys like Thornton and you look at Mingo with the Panthers and stuff like that. But the statistics have bear it out because you look at Sky Moore. Sky Moore did nothing his first year. He was straight due to his second year. So
and that's on a high pass offense where as long as you have somewhat of a talent, you'll be used at least. You see a lot of it. So
it's like I know people who play Dynasty who, if their first years are bad, they dump them. They move on because it's like the percentages are so low of wide receivers who don't get out on the field and do anything worth a crap. And then you look at guys like Quentin Johnson, who got all the opportunity to do good and was trash.
Yeah.
Thornton didn't really get any opportunity, and neither did Mingo for the most part, which, well, I take that back. I think Mingo was out there, but Quentin Johnson got all the thing. But see, it's like if you want to say that, you got to look at guys like even Jackson Smith and Jigba and what he's not been able to do. So is he a bust?
Well, it's kind of difficult too. I think I don't know. I'd have to go back and like really look at stuff. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a little different because he came into an offense that already had 2 ones. Like there was already solidified,
pretty established.
Now when we look at Sky Moore, when he came in, there was a clear opening for a 2. Yeah. He could have got in there and he didn't make it. No, and then he had another year and he didn't make it, And same thing with Wan'Dale Robinson, this will be going into his 3rd year, right?
Yeah, but he's been injured like 400 billion years.
All the time.
And that offense was absolute
garbage.
Gutter trash last year.
So, I mean, it's
I don't know. I mean, you can always, a lot of times you can also make an excuse for them and go, well, they were a terrible offense. The coaches did get fired. They're running a new system this year.
Yeah,
it's going to use more
There's
receivers.
Always something. Yeah, it's always going to be something. Quentin Johnson, there's no something, though. It's garbage.
Yes. Well, speaking of garbage, Trey Lance played a full game the last game. His passing percentage was great. He threw for 324 yards. That was awesome. He even ran like 7 times for like 70 yards or something crazy, and a touchdown.
Wow.
And he threw 5 interceptions and fumbled twice.
Oh, so he's Trey Peterman.
Yes. He's Nathaniel Lance Peterman Trey.
Yeah. Jones the 3rd.
First of his name. Trey Lance went out there and showed why he's been a bench rider since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Let's see. Donovan Peoples-Jones has been released. Like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and when we do the podcast tomorrow, I'm sure we'll have a better update because again, they've got to be cutting these guys by 4:00 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick likely to be released, as well as Samaje Perine. I know they were shopping Tim Patrick. I think Tim Patrick's still got some juice left, but I don't think that the NFL is really looking for a guy like Tim Patrick, being that he's been injured So I think he will get cut, but he'll probably get a practice contract from somebody.
Yeah.
But there it is. There's the news. Well, that cricket sound effect is forever. Listen.
It does.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here for.
It takes a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep. Just listen to. All right. Well, we're going to do the final mock draft of the season.
Ooh.
It is a 10-man single quarterback. I'm trying to pull it up.
Non-Superflex league.
Non-Superflex.
1,000 flex league.
Yeah. Let's see. Get back into the thing. Let's pull up the thing.
Just 3 flex. That's not
It's
bad.
only 3
I was
flexes,
thinking it was.
but it is a 2 tight end.
And,
It's just a half-point PPR, no crazy things like that. And then 6 benches. So Baker is going to be drafting from the 7, and I'm going to be drafting from the 9. So we're both working the back end. That's where I like to be in a 10-man league. I kind of like to see what falls to me and make my decisions.
That's
then.
my thing. I like I prefer the 9-10, but I would love. I don't know. I hate the 1.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the first top 5. But 7's still kind of tricky because you still got a pretty decent period between picks. So,
but we can go ahead and kick it off here. The thing about it is, I guess I need to turn off the sound on my phone.
let's everybody know what's going on.
Let's see. It started off. Tyreek goes first. Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson. Oh, it is a 3 wide receiver league. Just to make sure everybody knows that. Bijan goes at the 4. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Jamar Chase, and now you are on the clock.
This is so crazy, man.
I can't believe that CeeDee Lamb
Right now
fell all the way to
7.
All
I would
to
have
7.
That's why I was at 7 because I would have in the top 3. It'd be kind of hard. So Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, and Tyreek Hill all went before CD.
That's crazy.
Like Tyreek, I get.
They must be going off old news ADP because. Lamb was falling a little bit just because of the contract situation. People get a little scared. But Jamar Chase is also dealing with contract issues.
Yeah, exactly. He just played for the first time today.
Yeah, which is hopeful that he's either been convinced to play and try to get his contract next year, or that means that there's something in the works.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and draft Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yes, you can go ahead and get that done.
I'll get that locked in place here.
That reminds me of that video you sent me of the guy who didn't know football drafting today. I think he took Zeke at the 109 or something. I was like, I wanted to just jump off a building.
He was a football
him.
player, too. Like, he's like, I'm taking my boy. I'm taking Zeke. It was so great. He
was not a fantasy football player.
No, not at all. He was just taking his buddies. That's what it was.
A.J. Brown went right after that. You took CD at A.J. Brown. So I'm sitting here looking. I got Breece Hall at the top. I got Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Barkley. So
this is a tough spot because, you got 3 wide receivers and 3 flex to play, but you also
have the turn,
a pretty
too.
Quick turn. You get
so
a
if I take Breece,
4-pick turn.
I'm going to go and take Breece here. And I'm hoping that 2 more come off and the wide receivers are still there. Well, they are.
Still got a receiver.
So I got Jonathan Taylor. Do I push it? Do I do what I've been doing? Yep, we're going to do what I'm doing. I went Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor. So that was a 4 running back run there. Went Breece Hall, Barkley, and then coming back from the turn, Gibbs, and then I took Jonathan Taylor. Then Marvin Harrison goes immediately after that, and now you're back on the clock.
I got to take the top guy. I feel he's going to be better even than Marvin Harrison.
You got Garrett Wilson at the top.
I'm taking Garrett Wilson. Yeah,
Travis Etienne.
It's got to happen. It's Garrett Wilson here.
All right, so you take Garrett. Derrick Henry goes after that. Puka, Kyron Williams at the 2-7. Josh Allen, first quarterback off the board. And that's interesting. I expected one more round before we started seeing quarterbacks come off.
That's what I was thinking too, as well.
2-9, 2-10 was Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, and then Achane goes starting the 3rd round. Etienne, Chris Olave, Drake London. That sucks. I was hoping he was a receiver that might make it back to me. Isaiah Pacheco, and then our second quarterback off the board, Patrick Mahomes. And see, real quick while you're looking, 10 teams. There's a different philosophy. If I'm in a 12-man single quarterback league, I'm really not looking quarterback. I'll take a late guy. I'm really not looking tight end. I'll take a late guy. Unless I get value, unless somebody crazy falls farther. Like I will take Kyron and stuff like that.
Well,
but
this is a 2 tight end set too.
It is a 2 tight end set.
You kind of want to look a little bit at it when you can.
But if you're in a 10-man league, you are looking to get one of the top QBs and one of the top tight ends because everybody's going to have a top quarterback and a top tight end.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the only team that doesn't have that. And so it really changes how I look at those players when I'm drafting. You're on the clock. You've taken 2 wide receivers. So what are you looking at here?
I don't know. I'll probably be hitting up team 2 after week 3 when they and just see if they would trade one of their running
Holy
backs
crap!
away.
I just realized all Team 2's done is take McCaffrey, Jacobs, and Etienne.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm one to talk. I did go back to back with the running backs,
But
well.
I mean, you still can go wide receiver and wide
Yeah.
receiver and still do okay with this. He's going to wait all the way through before he gets a wide receiver or she, whoever it may be. But
I don't know what computer players identify as.
yeah, I don't know. They. We'll just go with they.
That's a good call.
I'm gonna dig a little deep on this one. I'm gonna take a shot just because it is a 2 tight end.
All right.
And I want somebody that I don't have to worry about at least with one of my tight ends.
Yes.
I'm gonna go just past the older gentleman and grab Laporta here.
Okay.
Not that I don't trust Kelsey. He just
No,
got signed.
I get it.
I just
I
think,
mean, Laporta was the tight end one last year in a high prolific offense.
and
so.
I don't think he's gonna be the one this year, but I still think he's top 3. So I mean, I still think the option of him being not have to worry about him is there. So
Ayuk goes off the board after that, and now I'm sitting here. I'm looking at Kelsey at the top of the board, Deebo Samuel, Mike Evans, Jalen Hurts. I'm going to go ahead and grab Hurts here. I'm going to go ahead and just get that out of the way. Kelsey does go directly after that. It comes back. It's Mike Evans. Deebo's at the top. Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Waddle. To be honest with you, I don't like any of these people here. I mean, I like these guys. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
I just don't want to draft them here
at this
spot. If
this
I could
spot.
trade back here, I would. So I'm going to scroll down and make sure there's not anybody.
I think I know somebody you're going to grab here.
Well, I've been grabbing him everywhere, and I have talked big about him. And here's the thing: at this turn, if I don't grab him, I don't think I get him.
You won't get him coming back. Yeah,
so I'm going to go ahead and
exactly.
get DK because
Yep.
I think he's going to be a top 5 receiver this year. And so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I have been in a lot of leagues. Debo goes directly after that, and now you're back on the clock. You've got 2 wide receivers, and you've got a tight end. And so, what are you looking at?
So I still think I can float quarterback for a little bit. I'm not too stressed about that.
As long as there's not a run.
Yeah. If a run comes up, I think even if it comes back to me, I'll be okay. But I don't know. I'm not sold on Nico or Diggs.
Yeah. I mean, if I was
Waddle-
going to take one of them, I would take Nico.
Yeah, and Waddle here, I mean, honestly, Waddle here is value in my opinion, especially since I don't have a wide receiver yet.
Well, let me add. I mean, you have 2 wide receivers. I'm the one that.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at your team.
But
You've got DK. But
yeah,
yeah.
but if you scroll down, what do you feel about James Cook here? You think at the 4-4 that's too early? Because that's where if I
It's-
was in your position, since I don't have a running back, I don't like drafting for need ever.
Yeah.
But I think you got Rashad White, you got James Cook there. I think that in the 4th round of a 10-man league, that's not terrible value. I don't think either one of them make it back to you. I think if they're not here, you're going to be looking at the Kenneth Walkers, Kamaras, Aaron Jones, James Conner, David Montgomery's, which isn't terrible.
Yeah. It's
But
still,
I think that you have a potential with one of these guys, especially with Cook, in my opinion. I would take him over Rashad White. But, I'm obviously not trying to tell you how you drive. I'm just trying to get, are you even looking at those guys?
I mean, I don't know. I honestly kind of feel I hate it. I may float running back again. Just because I'm not super comfortable.
I know you said you're not looking quarterback here, but since you're not comfortable and Lamar's at the top, he'd probably be the only one I would consider right here. Is he even in the consideration?
He kind of is, only because I kind of have him a couple other places to be nice, but not like. I don't think he's going to be so far off from what I can get out of Trevor Lawrence in 3 rounds.
All right.
As far as points values go.
Do you have the balls to go with another tight end here? You got McBride, Andrews, Kincaid right there at the top staring at you.
That might be
In a
an
2
option
tight end
here.
league.
I might grab Trey McBride here. I was actually looking at that. I'll be honest with you. I was looking between Trey McBride and going ahead and grabbing Devonta Smith, one of the 2.
Right.
Because I think Devonta Smith can still be. We got to start 3 wide receivers, and we have so many flex options.
Devonta Smith, I think, is going to have a big year, too.
So, I mean, I think that the addition of Jahan Dotson helps both A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
I would prefer you don't draft Devonta Smith because I was hoping to
you
get
can
him, stack him with Jalen Hurts.
But that's honest to God what I'm looking at between the 2.
I think the tight end's your best approach then.
Well,
Personally.
honestly, with the tight end, it might be my only option to get another good top tight end and not have to worry about it. And I have 2 good receivers right now to start with. So honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and take Trey McBride here.
Okay.
I'm gonna hope, and maybe Devonta Smith makes it back to me.
And if he makes it back to you, and you take him, it's going to make me sad. Stephon Diggs goes. Rashad White goes. DJ Moore, Nico Collins, James Cook. Devonta Smith goes the last pick of the 4th. Lamar hits the first pick of the 5th. Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Joe Mixon, Michael Pittman, Dalton Kincaid makes it back to you. And here you are. You got 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. We know you didn't like Diggs or Nico, really, and they're both gone. I know you probably weren't looking at Kupp or even Pittman, but DJ Moore was gone. Devonta Smith was gone. Were those 2 guys that you would consider here if they were still on the board?
Devonta Smith, yes, 100%. I would definitely consider Waddle if he came back to me as well. Cooper Kupp, Mixon.
So how you looking at running back? That's like I said, the Kenneth Walker, Kamara's, Aaron Jones is what you're looking at now. James Conner, Montgomery, Swift.
It's sad, but I'm grabbing another wide receiver here.
I think that's where your value's at, to be honest with you.
Somebody I've been talking about. I'm just going to put my money where my mouth
it's also what, a 2? Did I make it a 2 flex or a 3 flex?
It's a 3 flex.
3 flex,
and
3
wide receivers. So
yeah,
I'm grabbing Zay Flowers right here. Somebody I said was probably going to finish in the top 12.
You're riding that 0 RB hard right now.
I am. I've done it a couple times this year.
Yeah, you have. You have really been not big on the early wide receivers.
Running backs.
That's what. You're right. Zay Flowers goes. Malik Neighbors after that. And I'm back on the clock. I have 2 running backs, a tight end. 2 running backs, a quarterback, a wide receiver, and
now it's tough. This is kind of a tough pick too. There's talent definitely, but
see, I could try to play the ADP game. I know that my Team 10 does have 1 tight end. I really want Mark Andrews. They have Travis Kelce. Do they try to get their second tight end here? They only have 1 wide receiver, no quarterback. And do I go ahead and draft Kenneth Walker here, who's I'm also looking at, and see if I can get him back. The other side of the coin is maybe I need to get a wide receiver here. The top of the wide receivers: Tank Dell, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, George Pickens. I would like to get one of those 4. So actually, I'm looking at the wide receivers. So since there's 4 wide receivers and only really 1 tight end that I want, I'm going to go ahead and draft Mark Andrews here. Get him out of the way. T. Higgins goes after that.
Stroud. That helps a little bit.
And so it comes back to me. And now I know that I would venture to say that none of these wide receivers make it back. And here's the thing. I haven't really got Tank Dell anywhere, and I've really been wanting to get him.
Man, I'm thinking this is a big year. This is going to be a big year for him.
I
even called it on the hot takes.
Yeah,
he did. He was going to be the top receiver for Houston, fantasy receiver. Yeah.
So I went ahead and grabbed Tank Dell there. Anthony Richardson off the board. You're still riding dirty with no QB and no running back.
Can we take a second to appreciate Team 8 right now?
Team 8 has got A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuels, Malik Neighbors, and now Anthony Richardson.
And
you think
I'm going 0 RB. This guy's going 0 everything.
He's going 0 tight end and RB. But you're going 0 QB thus far too. So.
Yeah,
But yeah, you and Team 8 right next to each other. Y'all are both like F these running backs.
Yeah, like I don't even. But here's going to be my first running back off the board.
Oh, let me see if I can call it. Let me see if I can predict who it is. It's either going to be James Conner or Kamara.
Ooh, it's going to be neither. It's going to be Aaron Jones.
Oh, snap.
I'm taking a flower on Aaron Jones. New offense and all, but that dude is so talented. When he plays, and I think it's a fitting place for him at Minnesota.
Well, he also plays with the check down king. Oh, no, you're talking about Aaron Jones. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. Aaron Jones. But, it's just like it's one of those where
if he stays healthy, he should be great. That offense is going to be good. People are down on it, but the head coach there is an offensive mastermind. So,
but Aaron Jones,
Kevin O'Connell, there it is.
Super talented, just in his own rights. And this guy, it's funny backstory, real quick. Where we're in the hospital having Harper, my youngest, when his rookie year, when Ty Montgomery went down, and I had to pick Aaron Jones up off waivers to play him for Green Bay. And dude rode me just about to the championship. Like he did
everything he could, but then he got hurt. I'm pretty sure
he got hurt. Yeah,
classic Aaron Jones.
That's Aaron Jones. But I'm taking it here. My first RB off the board.
All right, so right after that goes Alvin Kamara, George Kittle, Kenneth Walker, James Conner, Kyle Pitts, George Pickens to end the 6th. 7th round starts with Terry McLaurin, Mark Cooper. See, those are all the guys that I wanted, and they're all gone. So I'm glad I went and got Tank.
That was 6 RBs after I took an RB, so it's probably smart of me to take an RB there.
Yes, because then David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Joe Burrow, Raheem Mostert. So it's back to you again. The RB landscape is looking not as good. The QB landscape also is kind of looking, well, it hasn't got bad yet.
It's not super bad yet. I mean, I can still
And
grab.
you can also look because the three teams after you, all three of us have quarterbacks.
Yeah. So,
So
I
you
mean,
could
I could
probably
probably float it to the next round.
Yeah, because Team 8 finally took they took a quarterback last time. If you want a running back, you probably should get one though, because Team 8 does not have any, and I expect they're going to start grabbing. So they may grab two this time.
They need to, yeah, before it comes back to me. So I'm gonna grab the next best running back available. That's after the next best ADP running back.
Najee,
I'm grabbing Najee right here at this point.
that's who I grab.
I'm grabbing Najee right now, and that's my second running back.
Christian Kirk goes. So Team 8's like, nah, we ain't need no fucking running backs. We need another wide receiver.
Let's grab this wide
Yeah.
receiver before we miss out.
We've had 7. That team's had 7 picks and picked 6 wide receivers.
That's crazy. So now all 3 flexes and all 3 wide receiver spots are full.
Yeah. So they have got.
If you're thinking needs, anyways, he needs some tight ends at some point, and running backs, of course.
Let's see. I guess I need to draft whatever the hell the best available. Let's see. So let me go back here and take a look at what I think is the best available. Keenan Allen's at the top with Ramondre Stevenson. I don't want either one of those.
Neither do I.
Kyler Murray's sitting there. I should have held out and got something better at my third pick instead of going Jalen Hurts. I regret that now, but it is what it is. Let's see. Scrolling down. Adunze, Zamir White, Jalen Reed, Worthy, Prescott, Pollard, Godwin, Ridley. I'm going to do it. I'm going with Rasheed Rice right here.
I knew, when you paused,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is it. That's a good pick. Because honestly, at this point, I don't think anything's really going to come up of whatever he's got going on legally.
I don't either.
Nothing's been set. We're literally 2 weeks before it starts, or what? 3 weeks? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks before it starts, and nothing's been like.
Yeah.
It's not happening this year.
2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks on Thursday. Is it 2 weeks on Thursday, or is it 2 weeks this past Thursday? So weeks next week.
Yeah, I think it's within 2 weeks.
Yes,
however you look at
something
it.
like that.
But yeah, if they haven't put nothing down yet, it's nothing's coming of it. Not yet. It may start for next year though. So
after that, 2 running backs go off the board: Zamir White, Ramondre Stevenson, and is back to me. So I am going to go ahead and go running back here as well. I'm going to go get your guy Javonte Williams. He is the starter. I think he's healthy, and I think that
there's been a lot of talk and everything, and I
Yeah.
think people were sleeping on him. I don't know. I'm still there for him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I still got.
I think Javonte is going to have a good year. I don't think it's going to be like top 10 or anything crazy.
Yeah.
But I think Javonte is going to go out there and put up numbers.
And they're kind of letting things go now. I mean,
they got rid of Samaje.
They got rid of Samaje. There's
or they're
talk
going to
about,
get rid of Samaje.
Who's Ahmed? I don't even want to try to pronounce his name. They're talking
Estime?
about Estime, yeah.
Audric Estime. I got you.
Audric, that's it, yeah.
I would
talk about him
I thought
being-
you were. I was like, when did they get what was the dude that played for Miami?
Ahmed Salam or so,
I can't remember
yeah.
his name, but that's who I thought you were talking about. And I'm like, he's not on Denver.
it's like Aldrich. I was trying to imagine
yes.
his name. I know it's like I can see it on paper,
Yes.
but I can't see it in my head. But yeah,
so I think Javonte, Evan Ingram goes after that, and it's back to you.
here's
You've got 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs.
round 8 is when Baker grabs his first quarterback.
But let's just also recognize that teammates still no running backs. They just sit their first tight end.
This is when, which is a good tight end to have at this point in the draft. I mean,
Yeah.
he was what, tight end 1 last year or tight end 2?
He was up there. It was, Laporta
maybe
was
3.
2, and Kelsey was, or Laporta was 1, Kelsey was 2, Evan Ingram was, I think,
Ingram
was
was
3.
3. So, but I'm going quarterback here. I'm grabbing the guy that is being slept on in most all leagues.
Yeah, that's a good
Kyler
pick.
Murray,
You went
so.
Kyler Murray. That's great because you can also stack him with McBride. So that's
exactly.
a
So
solid pick.
it'll definitely work out for me.
Keenan Allen after that, Jalen Reed, Xavier Worthy, Roma Dunze, Tony Pollard, Chris Godwin finish out the 8th. Going into the 9th round, Jake Ferguson leads off, Jordan Addison, Calvin Ridley, Nick Chubb, Deontay Johnson. It's the Lad McConkey. Lad McConkey goes right before your pick here. And so you're sitting here, Baker. You got your quarterback last pick, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. What are you looking at? I think I have an idea, but we'll see if I'm right.
I'm looking now. I'm probably going down the list a little bit.
Okay, you're going to dive.
I'm going to go because I need a little bit of depth since I've been waiting, holding out for, and I'm going to grab, I don't know, I'm not confident on any of this. What was your idea? Maybe it'll help me convince myself to go with what.
I figured it's going to be either you're going to get Jonathan Brooks to throw, so because you know you can throw him in your IR, but I don't have an IR on this team. But
still,
or you're going to go ahead and grab Chase Brown or Jerome Ford.
Like I would stretch it and go that far, but I think I can hold off. Probably not the next round, but even the round after that, like coming back to me on the next to grab Jerome Ford, because I really like Jerome Ford for this year. But it's honestly it's a toss up between Jonathan Brooks and Hollywood Brown. I want
because
Hollywood
they're both
Brown.
hurt, but so if you have an IR, you can throw either one of them.
And either one of them have potential top, finishing talent.
Right.
Then I'm getting in a 9th round pick, but I'll just have to wait it off for a couple weeks, and see what happens. But
what about Brian Robinson? Any ideas there to trying to snatch him
I've
up?
been grabbing Robinson a lot of places.
I think he's going to end up being the dude. I think Eckler's going to be relegated to the 3rd down back. Now, we could be wrong. Maybe Eckler's still got a lot in the tank, and last year he was just hurt.
He had a ton in the tank last year. It drug him down and made him not be able to do anything. So...
Oh my god!
it was.
I was like, he didn't have much of it. What are you talking? And then I realized what you were saying.
He was loaded down in the tank last year. We saw it. It was, but I've been drafting Brian Robinson a lot of places because everybody else is looking at Eckler, and I just think Brian.
Sorry, I was trying to find the button.
It works, but I think Brian Robinson's gonna be the dude. Like he's so talented, and what he did last year.
I think he's gonna be the red zone guy for sure.
He's definitely gonna be the red zone guy. So. But I think I can wait that off. If I'm going to stretch, I would rather take something. I don't know if it's a rather. I'm going to take Jonathan Brooks here.
Okay.
Just because I do like the value that I can get out of him at this point. And like you said, I can always throw him my IR. And
so Team 8 took their first running back, Zach Moss. So their RB1 is Zach Moss.
It's a good RB1. I hope their RB2 is Chase Brown.
Well, since we talked him up, I'm going to go ahead and grab him. And I'm going to get Brian Robinson here.
Yeah, that's a good
Hollywood pick. Goes after that. Austin Eckler, and then I'm going to grab a guy that people keep sleeping on too as a starter. I'm going Gus Edwards right after that.
Oh, nice.
And then Jalen Warren goes, and then it comes back to you. Real quick, I have 5 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback. And it comes back to you, Baker. You have 3 and 3. Wide receiver and wide receiver and running back, 2 tight ends, and a quarterback. Your team's looking pretty balanced after you went that 0 RB.
I'm fixing to snatch another wide receiver here, and this is primarily because I'm getting my guy, and he's not going to be there when it comes back.
Well, it's Keon Coleman.
I'm grabbing Keon Coleman right here.
I didn't even got to try to guess.
Full on established. That's where it's going to happen right at this point.
Keon Coleman, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Devin Singletary, Brock Bowers, and Njoku. That hurt. I should have went ahead and grabbed Njoku last time. I wanted to try to hold out. I was trying to ADP game.
A little bit of a tight end.
Tight end and running back. Quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah.
Dak Prescott goes. Jordan Love to end the 10th. Coming into the 11th, Dallas Goedert, Christian Watson, Caleb Williams, Brian Thomas Jr., Brock Purdy, Trey Benson. Back to you, Baker.
Team 4 still doesn't have a quarterback. Which is fine.
Team 4 is going with that late round quarterback philosophy.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't need a quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to make trades for wide receivers. No, they don't need them either.
Yeah, I don't know what.
So,
yeah.
I guess we should have mentioned Team 8's only 2 running backs are Zach Moss and Jalen Warren.
Jalen Warren, yeah. All right, so top of the ADP at this point right now, we're looking at D-Hop to Tajay Spears. That's interesting.
Zeke. I think Pollard's pushing him down. I think people are expecting Pollard to be the lead, quote, and that. I think it's going to be a 50-50 split, and eventually I feel that Spears is the more talented back, and he is going to take he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be hard for them to put on the bench. I think he's going to be good enough. They're going to be like, he's better. He's better when we got to leave him out there. So,
but I think looking at what I have here, I don't want to risk it and hope he comes back to me. But I'm grabbing another wide receiver here. I'm gonna grab JMO.
Damn it.
I'm grabbing
That's who
Jameson Williams.
That's who I.
Is that who you're looking
I had
at?
him queued up. Bro.
I'm grabbing. I'm gonna go a little deep, but I'm gonna grab him because I don't think he's
Damn
gonna
it.
make it back to me.
Jameson Williams.
And I
Tua
was
goes
right.
after that. Yeah, you're right.
You would have had 2 picks to grab him, so I
D
would've
Hop
definitely-
being hurt bothers me a little bit, but I'm just gonna go ahead and grab him because if he's out there, he's a target hog.
He is definitely money. Yes.
And getting him in the 11th to me is pretty good value. So I'm going to get DeAndre Hopkins. Cortland Sutton goes after that. Chase Brown goes. By the way, Team 8 took their second quarterback before they took their third running back. Just how they're. And then it's back to me. So
Even before their second tight end, and you have to start 2 tight ends. So
yeah. I'm going to peek at tight end. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that right now. There's guys that I'll take. I will say this, and I don't know if this is a good. If this was an actual team, like we were playing season long, we were going to have to be a part. I would draft Hawkinson here. I would just do it, knowing I could throw him on my IR, but he's not going to be there for a few weeks.
Yeah, you could pick up. That's why I grabbed
Brooks.
Brooks.
Yeah, and I would 100% do that here, but I'm not going to. What I am going to do is I would like to get another wide receiver here, but I don't like any of these wide receivers at the top. I feel like I can get the same guys later, but I do like Tajay Spears here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and grab him. And then Zeke goes right after Tajay Spears, and then is back to you.
Here's where I grabbed Jerome Ford.
Okay,
I mean,
and that worked out great because you were actually looking at him back where you took Brooks in the 9th.
Exactly.
And you're
So
now in the 12th, and you still get him.
It still comes back around to me to where I can get him. A guy that's going to start the season, but
Right.
may not be the guy after week 4 or 5. So if
I thought about him, but with me, I'm looking for upside now if I'm drafting this late.
this isn't super
and
upside.
I didn't go no RB, so I've got some solid guys at the top.
Exactly.
And so now I'm just looking for upside. And so for you need
This gets me through.
people you can throw into your lineup and feel good about.
The thing I look about with Jerome Ford at this point is I drafted Jonathan Brooks early, and if Jerome Ford can fill that spot till Brooks
Right.
gets healthy and comes out,
Right.
then I'm kind of playing that devil's advocate.
No, I
fill
understand
that,
completely your
fill that
philosophy.
spot
Yeah,
right there. So
I get it. Jerome Ford goes. Jared Goff off the board. Blake Corum, Jaden Daniels. I was actually hoping Jaden Daniels would make it back. I was going to grab him as a second quarterback just because that's what I've been doing. Dalton Schultz, TJ Hawkinson does go here in the 12th. Zach Charbonnet to end the 12th, and then coming in on the 13th, Chuba Hubbard, which that's a solid pickup for Team 1, I believe.
Yes.
Be able to grab him in the 13th round. He is going to be a starter for a few weeks at the beginning of the season. Romeo Dobbs, J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Lockett, Curtis Samuel, Pat Freiermuth. I was hoping also would make it back my way. But, wishes were horses, beggars would ride. As my mom would always tell me as a child. And now we're sitting here with you at the 13-7. You have 3 wide receivers, 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs, a quarterback. You still don't have any, you have 2 tight ends.
I have 2 tight ends.
Yeah, I was looking at some. Who's that does have? Oh, never mind. He does have 1.
Teammate.
Yeah, teammates. This is the hardest draft. This team's going to suck so hard.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing. I'm looking at my team and I feel kind of confident in my flex spot. My team's full.
Yeah,
And right now I'm sitting with Jerome Ford on my bench.
Right.
Kind of fill that flex play or
Yeah.
running back, which is typically your the one spot you're going to replace the most of. So I think I'm going to stretch here and grab somebody that I think is going to be really good.
Okay.
And he's also a position that we have to play 2 of anyways. So might as well I'm grabbing Cole Kmet.
You know what? I just want to say. I want to say this with the utmost love I can muster. Fuck you. Okay, I just want to. That.
Do I get the fuck you this year? Is that what's going on? I set it up.
Fuck that guy. And I'm talking about you. I'm 100% talking about you. That was like the Jameson Williams hurt. That one hurt.
Yeah.
But I still got D Hop as a consolation prize.
Yeah.
The consolation prize for not getting Kmet is like Luke Musgrave. Okay, so not super happy about that. So guess what? I'm not going tight end now because it was going to be. I'm tilting and trying to figure out what to do here.
I don't know. It just felt best value at this pick, and it gives me a little, for that flex spot. I can kind of play around with it, and my tight ends. I need 2 tight ends, so
man,
that
hurt.
I gotta grab it while I can, right?
Yeah, that hurt. All right, let's see. All right, now I'm 100% looking for upside here. I mean, I'm looking at, should I go ahead and grab Herbert? He's still on the board. If I can keep away from somebody, but everyone has a tight quarterback now.
That's the hard part about single tight end, especially in a 10-man league. This is
our single quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Single quarterback.
So everybody's got one. So I'm not playing keep away from anybody.
Yeah, it's everybody's got.
If there were, I will say this, just because out of spite, if there was any team on the board right now that didn't have a quarterback, I would probably take Herbert right here.
Yeah,
just to be a dick, but. Jacoby Myers would be a solid pick here, Josh Palmer, but neither one of those guys, we already know what they are.
Yeah, they're going to be what they are.
They're going to be solid guys. There's not a ton of upside there. So I'm looking for upside. I'm looking for somebody that's going to go out there and light the world on fire, be something bigger and better and badder. And if he isn't, then I can move on real quick. And that's going to be, I'm going to go Xavier Legette. I'm going to be a homer here. I'm just going to snatch him. I'm looking for upside, get a rookie out there. Adonai Mitchell. Justin Herbert goes right after me.
That. Yeah, you talked it up.
Adonai Mitchell then goes. And again, it's back to me. I'm looking for upside. I'm looking for somebody to be a league winner out of nowhere. And so for that, because your guy gets hurt all the time, I'm going Ty Chandler.
Damn it, motherfucker. I swear. So I was sitting there watching. I was like, not talking.
Ty Chandler for Cole Kmet, son of a bitch.
I was sitting here looking at it. I'm looking at what's available, and I'm like, you know what? If I can just hold out for a second, I'll grab Ty Chandler. I won't even have to worry about Aaron Jones. Yeah. I'll get the starter one way or the other. And plus Ty Chandler's not trash. Like, I mean, he does okay, you know.
Yeah, and
he can open up. He knows the offense. He's been there a year or two, so it's kind of a.
Well, I mean, he's had 2 years experience. He was last year. I mean, the likelihood of him being anything great and being a league winner is small.
Yeah,
but it's still there.
There's still an option of him potentially being the number one guy for that team that's going to get volume. And sometimes volume is all you can ask for.
And Jacoby Myers is not going to be a league winner. Josh Palmer is not going to be a league winner.
Exactly.
And so, I'm not looking for solid players here. I'm looking for dominant players.
I'm going to go on
Luke Musgrave goes right after that, too, by the way.
I'm going to go on a similar, and I don't even really care for this guy, but I'm going to go ahead and grab him because he can be a dominant player on this team. I'm grabbing Gabe Davis for Jacksonville.
I love it, to be honest with you. I haven't made it a big thing, but deep down inside, I think Gabe Davis is going to have a good year.
I think he's going to have a good year.
I'm not talking dominant.
Yeah.
But there's potential for it.
There definitely is.
But I also think Lawrence is going to have a good year.
Yeah.
I think he is going to have a dominant year, to be honest with you.
So he can easily, it's got to go somewhere. And I know Brian Thomas Jr. he's a good receiver and all this stuff, but Gabe Davis there's something there.
Yeah.
It could flourish. It could show up.
So you take Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir goes, Jalen Wright, Trevor Lawrence, Tyler Algier, Joshua Palmer, Kendre Miller, round out the 14th round. Heading into the 15th, Marshawn Lloyd, Aaron Rodgers, Jaleel McLaughlin, Jacoby Myers, Taysom Hill, Antonio Gibson, and it is now back to you.
I keep going wide receiver. It's like wide receiver. My best value just seems to be wide receiver.
It is. Right now, it is 100% wide receiver.
I mean,
the running backs on the board, there's very little value compared to the wide receivers.
Yeah,
in my opinion, you're looking at guys, Vidal, Ray Davis, Braylon Allen, Tyron Tracy, Mitchell. You're looking for handcuffs, or you need people to get hurt for these guys to step up. But you're still looking at guys. Mike Williams, if he comes back, he could be something. Rashid Shaheed is likely the number 2. Polk is rookie. Dontavian Wicks is a rookie. Pearsall
potentially. Yeah, I mean,
Darnell Mooney's still down there. Demario Douglas is still out there. He's looking like a starter. So Michael Wilson's looking like the number 2 with your guy that you drafted, Kyler Murray. So there's definitely more wide receiver depth, which is why I've been going running back so early in a lot of drafts, because the late round potential of wide receivers is intrigued me as much as the early round talent has intrigued a lot of people.
Well, I'm gonna. I don't know what I want to do. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. You're probably going to yell at me again.
If it's a freaking tight end, I'm 100% going to.
It's not a tight end. It's a wide receiver.
All right, that's fine. I don't have it. I have no. You're gonna probably take Shaheed. That's fine.
I'm going deeper than that.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking Mooney here.
Yeah, I mean, I would have grabbed him, but no, I'm not gonna yell.
I'm
at you,
taking
so.
Darnell Mooney right here at this point. I
100%.
upside.
He's out of everybody I just read. I almost didn't say his name because I don't want you to recognize it.
Yeah, but I just like it's one of those where he could be a guy that is a easy flex play all season and not have to worry about him. So,
all right. So then that means I've got 3 picks to get my last tight end.
and Ray Davis just went right after I took Darnell
And
Mooney.
there's more than 3 tight ends, and I don't think anybody else is taking tight ends. So I'm going to go probably wide receiver again here, and I'm going to go ahead and get my guy Shaheed. I've been a Shaheed guy for a couple of years now. He goes. Mike Williams goes directly after that. Ben Sinnott went. He was not on my list, so that's fine. And I'm either going to go quarterback here. If I go quarterback here, it's going to be Bo Nix or Drake May. Those are the only 2 I'm willing to take. Because if I'm taking my second quarterback behind Jalen Hurts, it's going to be somebody that could blow up. It's not going to be Cousins or Stafford, Mayfield, none of that guy. Running back, I'm definitely not going running back here. I checked that. I do have Breece Hall. I can get Braylon Allen, and that's probably what I'm going to do.
Kind of cuff it. Here at the
I
end of
don't
this.
always like to draft handcuffs in the initial draft. I like to try to pick them up later, but Breece Hall has been shown to be, I won't say injury prone, but
He had
been
an
down.
injury.
And here's the thing: Breece Hall is one of those. That position is if he goes down, then Braylon Allen's going to get all the work.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the value of what Braylon Allen could be, and him being a young back with a ton of upside, it just kind of works out. So I'm going to go ahead and get Braylon Allen there, get a cuff, and get some upside.
Damn it.
Kamani Vidal goes after that. That's who you're wanting.
I was stuck.
I would go
between-
Tyrone Tracy,
what,
then.
I was between him and Tracy, and I would have rather had him not just because I've got him so many other places. Like I've skipped on the running backs.
Yeah, you
so
have.
deep. I've gotten Vidal quite a
Yeah.
few places and Tracy quite a few places.
Yeah.
Some on the same teams. I've gotten both of these guys, but Tracy is definitely where I'm going now because as much as I want running back upside, I need, or excuse me, wide receiver upside. I need running back depth at this point. And this is a guy that
If I want to take Braylon Allen, would he have even been on your radar?
he would have been. He's in contention with him and Vidal.
Okay.
I like Braylon Allen. I think honestly, like if he was on any other team other than the Jets, like if he didn't have Breece Hall in front of him,
he'd be
he would
amazing.
probably be a starter.
Bro,
just about anywhere.
He's an absolute animal. Let me see. Tyrone Tracy, you took him. Elijah Mitchell goes after that. Bucky Irvin.
Oh, there went K. Dot.
Oh man, that hurts. That was my last tight end that
That was
I really
the team.
wanted.
That was the team's second tight end too. That team 4's second tight end.
Team 4. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Get him.
All right, K. Dot off the board. Khalil Herbert, Damian Pierce, Audric Estime to round out the 16th. The final round: Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Polk, Dontavian Wicks. Somebody I've been grabbing a lot of too. Jahan Dotson, Josh Downs, and it is back to you.
Josh Downs is somebody I've been grabbing a lot of too. I mean, he's a number 2 on their team right now. I know he's dealing with an injury, but
Yeah.
of course, the rookie can easily step up and take his spot, but he's kind of established there, so maybe. What?
I just thought about something stupid I could totally do. Go ahead. I'll tell you when I get to my pick.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and waste my last pick with another quarterback. Mm-hmm. And he's at the top of the list. And this is a guy that's just been when he's healthy, he's solid. I'm grabbing King Cousins here.
Yeah, I don't hate that pick.
It's the last pick. It doesn't really matter, but I need a second quarterback.
So I was sitting there and I'm like, the Ravens have been running Likely as like their third wide receiver. There's actually chitter chatter, as you would say, coming out of Baltimore that Isaiah Likely, they'll be running basically two tight end sets.
Yeah.
And Likely could go out there and run. And I'm like, that would be interesting. I can just go grab up Likely. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't I take Mark Andrews as my first tight end? And so I was scrolled back up and I saw that I had Mark Andrews. And I'm like,
You're basing a lot on that. Yeah.
So if I was to take Isaiah Likely here, then I better be 100% sure that he's going to be run out there with two tight ends.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to do that, but that would be hilarious.
I want to take a guess.
Especially if you did it and you were right.
This is your last round pick.
Yes.
You need your second tight end.
Yes.
You want the highest upside.
I want upside, and I want it in an offense I think is going to be passing a lot.
Okay, so I would feel that like on any given Sunday it would probably be Okonkwo, but I think you might go Conk Daddy here.
Those are the two.
And
you
grab-
nailed both of them, to be honest with you. I'm going Okonkwo because of the upside potential.
In the consistency.
Yeah.
Okonkwo is more consistency because if you don't have Aaron Rodgers as quarterback there, you got who's his backup? It's Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
So and Tyrod Taylor's not one. He's one that reads two receivers and then runs the ball.
No.
Rather
But
than
he's
throw it
way
off to
better
the tight
than
end.
any other quarterback they
No.
had all last season.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just
wasn't
saying
named
that
Aaron Rodgers,
it's
yeah.
good. It's going to be more of a two wide receiver read and then run the ball instead of dump off to the tight end like
Yeah.
what Aaron Rodgers would do if he can't get it to the tight end.
Yeah.
or
Well,
wide
and Aaron
receiver.
Rodgers loves tight ends.
He does. He does.
So, yeah, I'm going Okonkwo here.
That got you.
And so you definitely nailed that.
I knew it had to be between the two of them. So
All right, so I'll run through my team here. The only quarterback I drafted was Jalen Hurts. At running back, I drafted Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, Brian Robinson, Gus Edwards, Ty Chandler, Tajay Spears, Braylon Allen. I went deep on the running backs. At wide receiver, I got DK, the Forever Smash, DK
Yes.
Metcalf, Tank Dell, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Legette, and Rashid Shaheed. And then my two tight ends are Mark Andrews and Chig Okonkwo. And, also I got D-Hop. I forgot to name him with my wide receivers. And I got Tajay Spears. I don't know if, and Xavier Legette. I don't know. I should just name all my starters. And that's okay.
and then name the
Yeah,
bench.
Jalen Hurts, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, DK, Tank Dell, Rashee Rice, Mark Andrews, Chig Okonkwo, Javonte Williams, Brian Robinson, Gus Edwards are all in my starter slots. And then on my bench, I got D-Hop, Tajay Spears, Xavier Legette, Ty Chandler, Rashid Shaheed, and Braylon Allen.
So for me, I've got Kyler Murray as my starting quarterback and Kink Cousins as a backup in case I need him or in case he starts playing better than Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey.
Kyler's gotten injured a couple times.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kink Cousins, when he's on, he's top 10. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can stack him with Mooney.
done deal. I also drafted for running backs. I got Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, Jonathan Brooks, Tyrone Tracy, and Jerome Ford. So, a couple question marks there,
Yeah.
a couple maybes, but I mean, still, I still
When you
think
run
it's
that,
okay.
when you live that zero RB life, that's
You
the
gotta
kind of
live with
RBs
it.
you get.
But
right
this
there.
is what you get when you pass on the RBs. You get CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Keon Coleman, Jamison Williams, Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis, all as your wide receivers.
I felt like you wanted a bigger impact to hit after you said the second name on that list.
The rest of it don't matter. I got two big ones,
Yeah, you did. You got two big ones.
but then I got my tight ends.
That's where you made your hay,
Sam
really.
Laporta and Trey McBride are my two starting
Yes.
tight ends.
In a two tight end league, you have two potential top 5 tight ends.
And I have Cole Kmet, who could easily work his way up there
Yes.
if it's a good offense and everything. So I mean, and he could be a flex play. And then to finish it out, that's my whole team.
Well, there it is. There's the final. Unless we end up here with nothing to do, and I go, hey, you want to do a mock draft?
You
And
want to do a
I-
super flex mock draft? I don't think we've done that yet.
yeah, and then I look and see that we did
Oh.
do a super flex.
Yeah, we did that last week. But yeah,
But tomorrow we will have a special guest, Larry Cowan, aka Bus. We will talk about how we got that name. Maybe I don't know if it's super secret, if it's something that should be shared on the air.
I don't have a fucking clue. I've known that dude for 22 years. I don't think I have any idea
How he got the nickname Bus.
how they started calling him Bus. I have no idea.
But either way, he's somebody lifelong friend of Baker. I've known him for the last few years as we played fantasy together. A hell of a fantasy player. He's got his own things going in the fantasy sphere, in the sports talk sphere. So he'll talk a little bit about that. And if he wants to bring up his rap career, he's actually got some videos out there, and I mean,
Dude's pretty good.
pretty damn good.
He's
So,
pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. And so we let him bring all that to the table. But yeah, hopefully he can, we can make it happen tomorrow, and everybody's freed up for that. And hopefully Terrell can be here too. So we'll have a full house and then go from there. But we're going to be trying to bring to you some trends hopefully that's the idea of the show. We're going to be talking about some trends, some off the beaten path trends that maybe we can think about and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to actually do some research before we get too deep into that. I have an idea of a trend I want to look into.
15 to 20 minutes before we start instead of 5 to 10 minutes before we start.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to give it a half an hour of research instead of, what are you thinking, Baker?
Hey, listen, we both, first of all, I worked a long, hard day of sitting in your warehouse watching you do a lot of work. I mean, you were sweating, bro.
It is exhausting to watch me work. I know.
Oh, man, it was and you kept walking in front of the TV while I'm trying to watch.
I know, I kept ruining your view.
I was trying to watch the Jay and the Silent Bob reboot.
I am the worst.
While you're bringing stuff in.
I steal your tight ends and receivers and then block your view.
First of all, you gave me some painkillers for my hurt leg.
I did.
Gave me some water for my hurt leg.
I did.
And then you put a movie on for me after you told me where I could get a comfortable chair.
I did. I got you all set up.
And then you proceeded to work your ass off till you were sweating profusely.
I'm like, let me ruin this guy now that I've set him up perfectly.
I completely just sat there and watched you do it. And look, I have no guilt for it. I 100%. Because my philosophy was, he's going to be doing all this work whether I'm here or not.
Exactly. It's fine. I like an audience. I might have worked a little less hard because you were watching.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
I worked harder, but not.
Oh, you definitely worked hard.
Not because
noticed.
the work was hard. Exactly. Yeah. I appreciate that.
I hated to see you leave, but I love to watch you go.
Nobody notices it.
That's true. Well, listen, everything we say or do is to help you get to that average place in your leagues, because we all know, as we've said before, if you finish average, that means you don't finish last.
Exactly.
And if that happens, then we did our job. So we hope you guys have a good one out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And maybe we will figure out to do something that's not a mock draft.
Maybe.
We should just start a mock draft podcast.
That's all we do every week.
Yeah, it's just different mock drafts. Later.
Shiver me timbers.